Finally, I think we have come to the conclusion of this very important subject. And as I said earlier, this is going to be probably the most important conversation going into this election as we discuss about the economy and as we discuss about bottom-up. It is the single most important enabler for what we are going to do as a government, and therefore it must benefit from our intervention in a very significant and very profound, if I say, very profound way. We have listened to the stakeholders who have spoken. I know there are some who already put in their recommendations and memoranda, and they have been processed by the team led by Professor Munavu. Maybe I can just highlight a few areas that we have already taken a commitment as the Kenya Kwanza team. We have undertaken to the country that because we want our commitment to be different from commitments that have been made in the past, that number one, we are going to engage with the public. And I have said, as I said earlier, we've gone through the mill in every fora that we have attended around Kenya, and we have gone to close to 37 counties. We have listened to what teachers, we have listened to what lecturers, we've listened to what stakeholders are saying, and even students. And today here we have finally come to the final conversation. Let me just say a few things as I have listened on, and Dimuli and his team have spoken to this, that we all agree that our education should move in the direction of not just knowledge and exams. It should move in the direction of knowledge, skills, competencies, and value-based education. We all agree that that is the direction. We also agree that 5 years down the road, it's time to review, in accordance with UNESCO recommendations, the CBC program, so that the issues that have been identified by teachers, by parents, by students, and other stakeholders can be subjected to a robust public conversation, so that we can finally have a conversation that will lead us to ironing out the areas that are in contestation, and we can have an education system that serves our children and our requirements for the future. We have also undertaken, as Kenya Kwanza, that in accordance with, again, UNESCO recommendations on education being more than just being in a classroom. It is in the context of culture, it is in the context of communities, it is in the context of customs. And that being the case, we have two things as Kenya Kwanza that we want to undertake, that we will have a proactive support for citizens or students from marginalized areas, northeastern and other marginalized areas that do not today have adequate teachers, that we will promote, we will actively provide bursaries, and we will actively provide opportunities for people from those areas, Northeastern included, to join our teaching institutions and colleges so that we can promote the number of teachers coming from those areas as a means to enhancing the number of teachers from those areas, and Kenyans from other areas who go to teach in those areas will be incentivized so that they can provide teaching in those areas. We also undertake that we are going to abolish the delocalization policy as is set up now and replace it with a program that will appreciate that teachers are a national resource, and at the level of entry in employment, the nationalization agenda will be implemented at that level, and subsequently an incentive will be made available so that teachers who voluntarily want to teach outside their counties and outside their localities can be paid an allowance in promoting the national nature of our teachers, so that we can remove the current distress that is facing families and teachers who we have been given horror stories about, some of them committing suicide and that kind of thing. We have also agreed that to improve on access and quality of education, we will implement a minimum essential package for schools that have low enrollment, so that all the schools will provide the same quality of education irrespective of size. So that, and in that process, we will make it possible for even the small schools to provide the same quality of education as the big schools, and therefore create additional access where parents don't have to go looking for boarding schools or don't have to squeeze in what they call big schools because they offer a better quality of education. We will make sure that that same quality of education is available even in the small schools, so that we can encourage enrollment, especially in day schools. We also commit, as the Kenya Kwanza fraternity, that we will have a special service tariff for water, for electricity, for internet in all our learning institutions. Again, this will assist in making education affordable. We have also committing that we will work with the County Government Act so that we can make it possible for counties to deploy their resources in building schools where the public is of the opinion that their priorities is in building schools. Though the building of primary and secondary schools is the responsibility of national government, we're going to work out a mechanism so that it is possible for county governments to build schools where such is the requirement of the local communities there.